Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to WrestleMania, but before we get to Philadelphia, today is a huge day for multiple reasons. Someone I've wanted to talk to, I have it on my goal list for this year, people I wanted to talk to. We can check it off the checkbox. She's been to the White House, setting records with Last Woman Standing. She's going to tear the house down in Philly with Rhea Ripley. Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Lynch is here because this one right here, Becky Lynch, the man, not your average girl, is officially available wherever. Becky, you've been busy as hell. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm drinking lots of coffee, but I love coffee, so that's also great. Let me
um,
correct you. It's actually not your average girl. Very
See, here's the
average,
thing about reading. This is why I
but
need to
not
read the book.
average.
Not your average girl, wherever you can get your books. Obviously, I'm listening to the book and
Mm.
reading it.
How
Um,
are you?
so we need to get down to a lot of things. And I just said you were just at the White House celebrating St. Patrick's Day. You got a little president with the president himself. I heard you call him Joey B now. Um, I'm very excited for myself later on this year because one of the Las Vegas teams won a national championship. They're going to get to go to the White House, which means I get to go to help cover the event, which is amazing. And I'm super excited. I didn't get the chance to do it last year because they've won back to back years, but I was told that everything there in the White House is kind of snazzy. Even the napkins are like embroidered. So now that you're an American citizen, I feel comfortable in saying this. Becky, did you take anything from the White House as a keepsake?
Oh, I didn't. Well, they gave me a glass. They gave me a little glass, so I didn't take it, but I did leave something there. I left my book on the bookshelf in the library. But it was so cool. It was very cool, like walking around the place, like thinking of all the history that has happened in there. It was really fascinating, real fascinating place to be.
No, it was historic, and that was like so dope and so cool to see. And I want to get straight into the book before we get into all the wrestling and everything. And I think the most impressive thing, in some of the interviews and some of the things you've done already, is that I heard that you kind of scrapped the book when you went down to Orlando and you were at NXT. And so essentially you wrote two books, and it kind of speaks to your work ethic and stuff. But I want to know, in writing the book, I can assume it's a little therapeutic. It kind of forced you to relive all these great things that you've done. What was the favorite part of making this book for you?
Gosh, I think I love the whole writing process, and it I think my experience in WWE shows me that I am great with a deadline. So if you give me a deadline, boom, we'll get that stuff done. It'll be magic. If you give me all the time in the world, I can saunter. But the thing about with wrestling is like you think of a promo, you have to write a promo or you have to have a match, but we're going live in like 2 hours. So you got to have something has to come out of your mouth. So I love that pressure, because you're sitting down going like, I don't, what do I want to say here? What do I want to say? And you're like, well, I have to go out there. So I have to write something. And so when it came to 5 weeks and I decided I did not like the book, that was when I did my best work because I was like, okay, something has to come out and something has to be good. It needs to be good. And I think I got it to a place where I'm really, really proud of it. But I was writing it on red eyes and in the park with my child. I was like borrowing time wherever I could. And like, thank God my husband is he's just the best and amazing and was able to like pick up any slack that I was like letting off. But it's something that I put my heart and soul into, and I'm very excited for everybody to read it.
And I do want to ask, you brought up your kid and like, yo, go to the park, honey, go down the slide while I finish this chapter, please go down the slide. For my radio producers, you're gonna hate me, but I gotta tell Becky the truth. I want you to know my 5-year-old son just saw your match on Monday Night Raw against Nia Jax. When you fell off the ladder, he said, "Holy shit." I think I'm being a good dad, and I think I'm on the good path. But like the whole thing about being a parent is a lot of people say, well, it changes your why you do the things that you do. For you being a mom, what's the biggest change in yourself you feel like?
Gosh, oof. I think there's many things. I think there's many things. I think you change completely when you become a parent, really, and your whole priority shifted because now it's not just about you and your career and your goals and your downtime. It's all about like your child and making this person into a member of society and a good member of society, and making sure that they are looked after and cared for and loved and entertained and all of these things, and they're educated and they learn, they grow. And so it's finding that balance now, is like, how do I succeed in my career, and how do I be the best parent I can possibly be. And I think it's actually made me better at both. I think having both like allows me to be the best I can be in both areas, because when I go to work, I'm 100% focused at work. It is my time. It is my alone time. It's my time to do something for myself. And when I'm home, then I cherish that time with my daughter, and I can't wait to get back to her. And so you just look forward to all parts of your life at all times, and that's pretty great.
That's a beautiful thing. Well done. You should write a book, Becky. You're good with the word. Very important, by the way. Is the household Bluey, Peppa Pig, or Paw Patrol?
I had to ban Peppa Pig. I had
Why?
to ban her. She's a little, she's a little biatch. She's a little bully, man. She's like mean. She's mean to her dad. It's to the point where like we have the little action figures, right? We have Peppa Pig and Mama Pig and Daddy Pig and George.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I don't want to play with Daddy Pig. Because like of course she doesn't want to play with Daddy Pig, because Peppa's being so mean to Daddy Pig, you know? So I'm like, no, 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 no. This She gotta go. She gotta go. It's not an Irish English thing, in case you were going there. It's not that. I'm not still salty about the potato famine, but or am I? But no, it's so we're bluey. We're bluey in this house. We're bluey in this house.
Shout out to Bluey.
Peppa Pig can get out of here. Peppa teaching kids bad lessons, you know. She's real mean to her friends and everything.
Cool. So the YouTube title is going to be Becky Shoots on Peppa Pig. I love this for the YouTube.
Yeah, Becky versus Peppa.
And
She
earlier,
wouldn't stand a chance.
I brought up how you wrote the book twice, right? And I was like, yeah, it's crazy. And then also look at the year that you've had this past year, I should say. I've enjoyed it a lot. You know, whether it's the rivalry with Trish, you run at NXT, and now as we head into WrestleMania. And like, to me, in my industry, I want to be where you're at. I want people to call me the man. So to see someone who I see is already up there, to like not rest on their accomplishments and strive to continue to take it higher and higher and higher. I guess my question is like, why is that so important to you to continue to raise the bar?
Honestly, I don't know how to be any other way. I don't know. I don't know how to coast. I don't know how to rest on my laurels. I'm always thinking about the next thing. I'm always thinking about how we can be better. And I think it's one. I think you'll read about it in the book. Is I have this weird juxtaposition of like self-doubt and self-belief almost in equal measures that continue to drive me, you know. And the other thing is with WWE, it's 52 weeks a year, you know, like we don't stop when it comes to WrestleMania. Like, okay, you're good. You did a WrestleMania. Now let's stop and breathe for a second. It's like, no, well, what are we doing tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw? Because it keeps going. Yeah. So you're constantly having to think of how to make it interesting. How do we make it better? And then the other thing is like, look, I've been doing this I started, I'm not old enough to say this, but I started 22 years ago. Still can't accept that I'm old enough to say it. But so I'm a lot closer to the end than I am the beginning. There's still a lot left in the tank, but it's like, how do we continue to make it grow? How do we make it better? How do I make sure that the business is a whole lot better once I'm gone than when I found it. And already that's, it's night and day. It is night and day. But I just want to continue the upward trajectory, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And another cool thing about this book, and I said it earlier too, is like it kind of forced you to reminisce because you have to go through the past. I mean, you look at the past 22 years of wrestling. When it comes to women's wrestling, like without question, the four horsewomen, you, Becky, Mercedes, Charlotte, like the impact you guys have made, like it honestly can't be measured, or it's going to take decades to see the real impact that you guys have all made because it's still not done. When you go back to that era, and it makes me feel good because I went to school in Tampa, so it was cool with the Rumble going back. I was 3 blocks away from your guys' little warehouse that's now a jungle gym off of Del Mabry.
Oh, is it?
Yes, you guys were on like Bright House Network or whatever the case. What's your favorite memory of, like, I guess, was it when you got in there? Was it cool to know, like, oh no, they want this as bad as me? Like, was that kind of the feeling when you got there?
That was the driving force as well. I think that was what made it, is that we all had the same goal, and we also knew that nobody could do it by themselves. It needed to be a group effort, and it was a group effort. But we had this healthy competitive spirit where it was like, I want to be the top guy. I want to be the top guy. I want to have the best match. I want to have the best match. And having that drive, I think, continues to push one another, because it's the rising tides lifts all ships, and it definitely did that. But there were so many restrictions on us as women back then that none of us wanted to accept. We didn't want to accept that being like just relegated to short matches and stigmas of what we could do or couldn't do. And we wanted to change that. And we all wanted to change that. And we did.
It's amazing. Like I said, the impact is just, you can't really measure it. In wrestling, you never say never. And I'm happy because for once, I don't have to ask you, do you think CM Punk's ever coming back? Do you think The Rock's ever coming back? Do you ever see a day in the WWE where all four of you will be in there in the ring at the same time again?
I mean, we never got that 4-way match. But I think if that ever does happen, that's a WrestleMania main event. So anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Damn straight. Before we get into the speed round to close this out, I do want to ask you one more question about parenting. And you've tweeted about it, but how have you had to explain to your daughter that daddy's going up against the Tooth Fairy?
She hasn't seen the Tooth Fairy. I have to explain that to myself because I think that is my favorite Rock movie. I love that movie. That movie rocked. No pun intended. But the Maui thing, she got to meet Maui too. Like I got to introduce her to Maui.
Disney and stuff, right?
And no, like she got to meet The Rock. And so, and he was so kind to her and sang "You're Welcome" to her, and explained that Taka took his hair, and that's why he looks different. And so it's gonna be hard for her knowing that her dad's going to beat up Maui. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it as a family.
Yes.
These are the hard conversations that you don't know that you're going to have with your children when you become a mother and when you're a wrestler.
That's incredible. Before we get into the speed round, everybody, the book's on sale now, today. Go get it wherever. Let's try this again. Becky Lynch, the man, not just your average girl, available wherever. All right, Becky, you know how this goes with the speed round. What is the worst career advice you've ever been given when it comes to wrestling?
Girls can't punch.
Did anyone say you got to change your accent?
No.
Good.
Never.
Good.
Never.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I think that was a rumor, but that never happened.
Got you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how painful is a leg drop from Naya?
Oh yeah, pretty nine. I'll give it a nine.
Taking a title through TSA, how annoying is it?
Incredibly annoying every single time. What's that he has?
And then my last question. I wasn't going to be the one interview that does not ask you about the picture that's out in the book. And this is cool. This is the first time I actually got a prop for the interview. So thanks to CBS. So for those watching on YouTube, if you're listening on the radio, you got to go check it out. So this is the photo, right? And now I realized now that I've shown these, like, well, what am I going to do with this picture? I'm going to throw it away. But so the video that went viral is when you guys were doing a video for Up, Up, Down, Down and trying out the new 2K. You couldn't show us, but we got everyone's initial reaction. Well, here's the thing, Becky. I also have a similar photo where I'm not nude, but I'm kind of, it's a risque photo for me. I used to be a model. I'm sure you could tell by this interview. You could just, while I'm talking, you're like, wow. So I want to get your
It's been very distracting.
Yeah. See, and you powered through because you're a professional. So,
exactly. I am
the truth. Now I'm going to flip it. And now you got to see this picture and I need to get your initial reaction. Here we go.
This is amazing. This is amazing. Incredible.
Do you see the focus on the eyes?
Oh yeah. With the little squint, the little squint, you do a little of that, the little sultry look, the come hither look,
Yes, the DMs have been popping ever since. But look, if you want a good book,
no, just wait. They're just going to go crazy now. I guess for both of us. What?
There it is. Becky, I look forward to seeing you guys at Philadelphia for WrestleMania. Until then, I know you have a million people you got to talk to on this run. But thank you for what you do. And thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. Thank you for printing out that picture. Hang it proudly in the background there. There it is.
Right there.
I was like, if the book sucks, maybe people will buy it just for that picture.
There it is. It'll be a bump. It'll be a bump in the sales. Becky, thank you for the time.
Thank you.